Yeah, so this is totally normal and actually looks perfect. So when you're like, there's some bow to this glass and it kind of curves in here. So when you get these waves, you want to match up your card. So as the film pulls tight, we're going to just push this forward more, and you're going to watch this corner get completely readjusted. So you're actually shrunk probably a lot farther than what you thought. And then this is the next area to shrink.
Okay. Look at this big finger right here. Is you adjust that or just heat it up?
No, because we haven't really started here.
Okay.
So we're going to lay this just locked down to the window.
Okay.
These fingers are bigger up here, but I'll show you how to adjust those.
Okay.
But anytime you see the film, like, you want it to pull this way. You want it to go from being loose to then doing those little air pockets that are sideways.
Okay.
The trick is just you gotta recognize those, and you're gonna push them straight forward, or if they angle, you're gonna push them out that way until they completely disappear.
Right. Towards the where the smile is, you say.
Yep. So these ones, these are gonna go in this direction. Exactly.
Right. I just need to hit that right there. And that's already shrunk. Okay. Okay, here we go. I get this down. If I get this down right here, and I'm gonna be good. I got my lane and everything right, so I can lay the back windows.
This is good. That's what you want to see. A little more heat in this area. You could point the heat gun almost a little bit more like that. There you go. Then it's getting a little bit more heat. The film towards the outside edges always need a little bit more.
Okay.
That's good. A little bit more right in here. So we got that little finger right there. So this right here is what I'm looking at. Perfect. Yep, go ahead and just push all this. And when you do that, just put some firm pressure and push it forward.
Push it forward, what you mean?
Yeah, like just straight forward in that direction that it wants to go. Perfect.
How far here?
That's good. Yeah, you're right at the edges. So we're past where we need to, like, we're all this past the dotted lines, that's going to get trimmed off. Okay. Any small fingers right at the very edges are always going to take an extra blast of heat to get to lay down. Okay. We don't need to worry about them, but if you wanted to, you could just hit them really quick with a strong hit of heat. But we can move over to the other side and continue here. So what's interesting about this side is, like, sometimes you're gonna have where you end up shrinking a little bit farther. So we kind of went over the halfway point a little bit. The farther over, because the glass goes up and then it comes back down. So when you go over your halfway point, you start to see some of these fingers shooting up this way.
Okay.
And it's really like, this is already shrunk, but these lines, they're pulling up here where the film is now loose up here. Okay. So as soon as we shrink in this, it's all going to match up and come down together.
Okay.
So this is what I'm looking at next.
Okay. So where was my halfway point from here to here, maybe? Mm-hmm. To here?
Yep.
Right.
So a lot of people tend to kind of reach over where you can go up to.
Yes.
And it's not that it's wrong. You just have to, like, just recognize that this will lay down as soon as you shrink this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I tend to just suggest going towards, like, the halfway point, bringing this stuff down, okay, and then worry about that stuff when you get over to that side.
So then I'll start here since that's already shrunk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll still do kind of in here, and it'll all come down together. There you go. That looks great. So that you can card down to right in here. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's fine. So, little heat in here. So this is what I'm really looking at right now. Just a little more heat right in here. Like right there. Perfect. Now bring this down right up to here. Like you could card right to there. So those lines basically, they went from being like this to now they're coming down and it's all matching up now. It's beautiful. And this is good. We're getting that exact same swoop that you had on that side that you asked me at the beginning. We're seeing that here. So what you do with this is you push this out in that direction. So anything that's straight goes here. If it's at an angle, just match your card up with it and push it out in that direction. Yep. And the key is to really like, don't be afraid to put some pressure and really just make sure you push it out the side. So, yep. And now look at how flat this is now. And then you have these waves, push these forward. Just think of it, good analogy is kind of like a bed sheet. It's like you're stretching your film over the window. It's just you're not stretching it from the edges and pulling. You're really just pushing those waves. That's why we like a dryer sheet or something that basically lets the film float so that we can push it forward. It doesn't stick. And then, but when we're putting pressure on it, wherever we're putting pressure on it will then stick to the glass as you do it. So it's floating, you push it forward, and then it's stuck and not springing back. So you got to stretch the film over the window, and that kind of starts from like this area, straight forward, and then these tend to go out the corners.
Okay.
Yep. And same thing happens for the top.
Okay. So that's pretty good right there. I could go and push that down, or you
Yeah, you can push that down. You have maybe a very slight amount to shrink right in here. So this little bump that's over the edge, I would shrink that a little bit farther.
Keep that heat moving, right, man?
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yep, and that can be pushed straight out. Perfect. That's exactly it. So let's do that top corner. Yes, that needs to lay flat. Good. Just the very edge. Perfect. Hold the heat gun a little farther back. There you go. So at the beginning, you're actually holding the heat gun much closer facing up in this direction than you were facing down in this direction. So these lines are now a little bit tighter. It's not overshrunk. You can still push it forward. You just got to be really direct. I'd start here, kind of in the middle, and just kind of work this up. But yeah, definitely push some pressure. There you go. Awesome. And now see how this is angled? Mm-hmm. So this wants to go up in that direction. Good. And just keep following that wave until it basically melts away. Perfect. Yep. And now that just became part of this. This all needs to be shrunk. And then this little tightness right here, or like that finger. Mm-hmm. So what we can do is readjust this edge a little bit. So you can do that one of two ways. Sometimes if you don't tack this down very hard, you can just smooth it out that corner, or you can lift and then make sure that this is loosened back up and then re-flatten it down, and it'll readjust that corner a little bit. There you go, that's fine. Yep. And then just push that back where it needs to go, flatten down that edge. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yep, you're ready to go.
Am I far enough now with the heat gun now? This is a nice angle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. You can always get closer. It's a balance between distance and speed. So if the heat gun's within an inch or two, especially early on, you're really heating up that film a lot. So you have to just move faster with the heat gun. But if you're moving a little slower with the heat gun, then just hold the heat gun a little farther away. But think of it this way. In the very beginning, you start a little farther out, or you just got to move fast. But the film from here up to here is going to shrink pretty fast. And then when you get to the last, quarter, that's where you need a little bit more heat. It's going to be a little bit closer. So, because there's just more film there that needs to be shrunk.
Okay.
This is looking good. Yep. Yep, and then that goes right out the side. There you go. Nice.
I got some more push I can do maybe?
Just a slight amount you could, but you're running right up into this finger here.
That's more of a point right there. That's not really a smile.
Yeah, like it's kind of a mix where it's a little loose and yep, you could put a little bit more heat on it. Yep, it's right in that in between. And then this is shrunk enough right here, so this swoop, this is fine. If anything, you want to kind of push it up there. There you go. And now, similar story. This got heated a little bit much, and now we got those lines coming all the way to here. Okay. So as soon as this gets shrunk, that's going to go up. So I'm going to mostly ignore right past that line, and whatever this does is fine. Shrink that over there, okay. But continue up here, and you're almost done this whole top corner.
A little closer up here, Mick, with my heat gun. How's the distance?
That's good, actually, because you can see the film reacting. Your speed, your distance right now is pretty good. So, yeah, you always want to, like, you're shrinking the film when you kind of see it doing these little wobbles. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it kind of twists and turns a little bit, yes. But eventually it's going to get to the point where it then gets so close to the glass it then pulls outwards. So you're kind of just like trusting, like I don't really know what it's doing yet, and then you'll start seeing those lines. Oh, okay. Yep, it's always going to do it though.
So this needs a little bit more to smile, right?
Yep. Okay, we could slow down a little bit more with the heat. It's almost there. It's slowly going down. We're gonna have to go a little bit faster at this point.
A little bit faster?
But it's, well, like it'll heat it. So we'll go a little slower with the heat gun, like we kind of were at the beginning. See how it like warps and twists, and then it starts to pull. So that's what I'm waiting for. Yep, nice, right like that, perfect. Now take that, push that all forward. Good pressure, yep, that's nice. Hell yeah. Yep, you're good. If you wanted to put a little more heat right there, but you're right past the edge. So either way, you're golden. Nice. That's exactly how you do it. We'll wrap up this corner, and you'll have a shrunk back window. Nice. Make sure this is pushed forward. We just don't want any fingers popping out the side. It was starting to shrink out that way a little bit.
area on the top.
Okay, that's good. These are all so. All right. So this line, we made sure this was laying flat, but this swoop wants to come out here on like in this direction. So I would just loosen it up a little bit, and then to make sure that it's not going to stick, that's good enough right there, just a little bit. And then take this and start scooting that swoop that way, and then see what happens. Perfect. Yep, that's far enough because now these are lines.
Okay.
So these are points coming down.
Okay.
So lock that down flat again, and now you're good to continue shrinking. Yep, no, you're good. Sorry. This will actually be a really good video.
Yeah, you like them electronics, don't you?
Nice. All right, that's looking good. So, yep, yep. So these want to go out that way. Yep, keep going. And then same thing with here. This can, sorry, that can be pushed right up there. Perfect.
How about that? That's good? That's good?
It's actually still okay. You could shrink it a little bit more, but it's like,
okay.
with the way this looks, it should just keep smoothing out. Yep. There you go. There you go. That's it.
Nothing wrong in there? How about that?
No, that's fine. So anything that basically looks flat, like this big air pocket here, it's flat. It's shrunk. The only thing is it wasn't quite smooth. Like you didn't stick it to the dryer sheet, but it's flat, so you're fine.
Okay.
Yep. One thing that will maybe help a little bit more next time too, just to keep in mind, is if we slim this up a little bit farther. So we're over the side, maybe like, you know, just like an inch or so.
Not closer.
Yep, if we trim this off, because what happens is if your glass is really wide past the border and we smooth it down and we're flattening it here, like we have to anchor it on the very side of the film. So what happens is it's also taking this curve and pushing it up into here, so this all becomes part of our shrink.
Okay.
But if I trim some of that off, because we don't need to worry about this, then it's going to be a little bit less aggressive up here.
Okay.
So your sides can be 1/2 inch to 1 inch.
Okay.
That's totally fine. And then you can always go, like the top and bottom's totally fine with how you set it up.
Okay.
But there you go.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Nice job.
I'm doing another.